Hey, what's up everyone? So I've been posting some shorts on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I've always been getting your guys' input, and questions just arise. And this question keeps on coming up time and time again. And I'm just gonna go and do a real short video on it and give you guys the information that I know. All right, first starters, I always talk about the goonch catfish and how awesome he is. Well, let me try and get him out for you guys. Well, I posted a small video on Facebook and Instagram, and we were talking about man-eaters, and I said the goonch is one of the 7 known man-eating catfish. And that is true. And someone commented on there and said, he's a pseudo man-eater. He eats the remains from, what do you want to call it? Crematories and whatnot at the banks of rivers. That might be true, but what I'm talking about are actual true man-eaters. There are only 7 known man-eaters, and what I mean by that is fish that get big enough that can swallow humans and will swallow humans. Number 1 on my list is my most favorite. I'm not going in any particular order because, for 1, I don't have them all, and 2, I'm just gonna go with my favorite first. So 1's the goonch catfish. He is a mammoth catfish from India. They come up from in the mountains, the faster flowing waters and whatnot. You got the Himalayan mountains over there, and these guys are normally a cooler water fish, but they do get to massive proportions. When I say that, I'm talking, 6-7 foot long, and you see the size of this body on this guy, and you talk about a catfish with a mouth that's, 2 foot wide with the teeth that he does, and how deep that they sit in the water column. They can basically pull a human down, they basically drown them, and then they eat them whole. So there have been reports they found human bodies inside of the goonch catfish, and that is one of the many reasons that I love the catfish. Another one on the list is this boy right here. This is the Jow catfish. These guys come from South America. And these guys are also known as the zingaro, or I call them the Jow catfish. These guys can get up to around 8 foot, and they are one of the kings of the Amazon. There is a discrepancy. Is it the Paraíba? Is it the Jow catfish? Well, both of them are kings in their own nature. So I don't know who would win in a fight. Oh, there's a light there. A Jow or a Paraíba. I might take the Jow catfish for the win, but I still crown the Paraíba as the king of the Amazon. So this is number 2, the Jow catfish, and number 3, I was just talking about the Paraíba. Now there's a couple of different subspecies. There is the true Paraíba, the Brachyplatystoma filamentosum, is the ones that get massive proportions and have been known to devour some humans in its time. Now the other man-eaters I do not have, but we can certainly talk about them. Alright, so number 4 on the list is a European Wells catfish. They can get, again, to massive proportions to where they can get big enough that they can swallow a human. Now, I'm not talking, a human the size of that guy there. I'm talking, a smaller human, because it does not take much force to actually pull a human under water and keep them there. So there's fish that are large enough that can pull a human under and keep him from surfacing and technically drown him and kill him. But I'm just talking about the ones that can physically eat them. And I mean ingest, devour. And that is a European Wells catfish. They can get massive. Another one on the list, so what is this? Number 5 is the Wallago leary. Now I'm not talking the micro Wallagos that you see a lot in the aquarium hobby, or the Wallago 2s, which are the mean ones that get about 5 foot. I am talking about the massive wallago learys with true attitudes and pure size. I know of an old-time friend that is no longer around, but he had a massive 50,000 gallon tank up in Canada. You guys might remember him from the MFK days. His name was arapaima on there, but he had a 5-foot arapaima get eaten by a wallago leary that was in his tank. Now, I don't know what happened to that fish. I know that he closed the tank down and all of his fish probably went to zoos around and stuff like that. But this was a massive wallago leary, and he was just, you know, a sight to see. I never went up and seen him in person, but seeing him in videos was just absolutely astonishing. So that is number 5 on my list. All right, number 6. That's another fish that I do not have, but it is something I wish that I could. It is on my dream list of fish, but it is closely related to this guy here, the Pangasius. That's the iridescent shark. And we've got the black ear paroon. We have a short body paroon shark here. This is what is most closely related. These guys can get about 6 foot, but the true Mekong cats can, you know, put these guys to shame. They can get about, you know, 9 to 10 foot long, but they have the mass to, you know, go with it. You pull them out of the river, they come from over in Asia, and you think of a fish that big, you must imagine how much it weighs. Now, normally these guys are just a, you know, normal predator catfish, so they'll normally go after smaller fish. They might eat some stuff that falls in the water. They will eat vegetables. They're basically omnivorous. But if you get something of that size, you can pull some videos or pictures up on Google and see the size of their mouths next to some of these people who are fishing them out of the rivers. And just because of its pure size, it can swallow a human. Now, there are more fish that can go onto this list, but we're going to save number 7, and we're going to do another part 2 video on this, and it's going to include some more fish that belong on this list, but also, you know, what you call pseudo man-eaters and whatnot. You know, they might not be big enough to swallow a human, but they can definitely do some damage and will, you know, pick off a body if it's laying in the water or something like that. And of course, some of those fish do lie on my favorite fish that I, you know, own and don't own. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into that in the part 2 of this video. All right, so I was talking about the European whales earlier. I don't have one, but this is a Chinese whales. They only get about, you know, 4 foot long at their max, but they kind of look very, very similar. He is behind that log there, and he is gone. But while we are in here, I can go ahead and give you guys an update on some of these fish in this tank. You guys love that red earth eater Vegas there. He's still doing pretty well. This albino arrow is growing exceptionally well, so I have no complaints with him. Still got the African giraffe cat in here. Mr. Lone Star, you know, Lone Star Rare Exotic Fish, gave us this Australian lung. He is probably about 14 inches long now. He is just growing so quick. So he will be in this tank for probably another year or 2 before he gets bumped up. But I'm absolutely surprised at how fast this fish has grown. You know, your normal African lungfish don't grow this quick. What else do we got in here? The armadas. You know, we're having a grow off with the armadas. This one here, there's a 12-inch tile. He's probably around 14-inch. So he is definitely becoming a big boy. But I do think the one in the 600 is going to give him a run for his money, because that thing eats like an animal he still eats, but the other one just eats way, way more. It's absolutely crazy. These tinfoil barbs are getting pretty big in here. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this smaller one. Now, I have mentioned it before, I am going to redo some of these tanks and get rid of some of the more common fish and rehome them. There goes a redtail giant gourami, a beautiful one, I might add. He is a very slow growing gourami, but once they start packing on size, they start growing pretty well. But everyone in this tank seems to be doing well. There goes that Chinese whales right there. Now just imagine that this thing, you know, 8 foot long, several hundred pounds. If he's got a 30-inch wide mouth, he would have no problem, you know, devouring a smaller human. But these guys all seem to be getting along well and doing well in this tank, so that's why I don't bother moving them. I do have another Chinese whales in this tank. He is a little bit bigger. Don't know if he'll be out right now. There goes red cactus pleco. At nighttime, all the plecos come out. There goes a beautiful flower horn. He is behind this decoration. There he is. You see him right there. But that is it for some of the known man-eaters. I do have the paroon sharks in here, but they are a little bit hidden right now because it is so dark. At nighttime, you only see silhouettes of the fish, so you only see them if they drive by, or swim by, I should say. We got the big arapaimas over here in the corner. They're just relaxing. But all right, guys, we will catch you in part 2 when we start talking about some of the pseudo man-eaters. And, you know, some of those can include, you know, tigerfish and piranhas. We'll go ahead and get you a full list of that in the next video. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay fishy, my friends.